Final Fantasy Origin director talks about what makes a Final Fantasy game. Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin will be out until next year, but there's still plenty of buzz going on about it. The game's director, Daisuke Inoue, initially feared the people will be against it. I was expected to get a lot of feedback from Final Fantasy fans saying, "This isn't what the series is about, this isn't what I want to play, this isn't Final Fantasy." I prepared myself to receive that, but actually we received even more feedback from people who were happy with the game, satisfied with the game, and who were interested to see where it was going. That was a big discovery for me, and also something I was very pleased with. Since the new game looks and feels different, they got Inoue musing about what makes a Final Fantasy a Final Fantasy. For example, some people might think that Final Fantasy 3 really encapsulates the spirit of Final Fantasy, whereas other people might think that it's Final Fantasy 6. He said, so that's something that we had a lot of discussion about in the development of lots of past installments of Final Fantasy as well. What makes this a Final Fantasy? He explained, I think one of the things that we always come back to is that Final Fantasy is a series that always challenges new things. It takes on new challenges and ideas, and I think in that sense, this is a particularly Final Fantasy like Final Fantasy because we're talking on some really big new challenges for this title. And he also talked about the importance of character in Final Fantasy games. When we originally were thinking about this project, thinking about what kind of game we wanted to be, we did consider the option of character creation, but one of the things that makes that quite difficult is to build an individuality for those characters and characteristics that tie into the story. He continued, that's something that a lot of Final Fantasy games have. They have that sense of individuality for the characters, a personality that makes them who they are, and we just found the difficulty to tie in. So although the equipment can be changed, so the appearance can be changed in that way, we decided not to have the options to change his face or change gender as the player character. Are you looking forward to Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin?